Yo, what is good everybody, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, as you probably already read in the title description or the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about the latest leaks to come out from the house of Fear of God, but more specifically the Fusion line, Fear of God Essentials. Now, it's been about 3 months since Fear of God Essentials was officially updated last, and that was called the Black Collection. This new collection is somewhat of a spin-off off of that, with similar cuts and details added to this most recent collection, which we will be discussing here today. Just a quick little video on some Jerry leaks posted on Instagram that I'm going to be reacting to and kind of discussing and breaking down, as I do estimate that the new Fear of God Essentials line for fall winter 23 is set to release in just a few days. I think that they're just going to randomly announce it. It's just going to show up in your emails or maybe on Instagram. And so here at the Locust&WildHoney community, we just want to be prepared and have our wallets prepared accordingly. But just before we go any further, if you do enjoy this style of video and want a part 2 where we react to Fear of God Adidas or Fear of God Athletic leaks, where I kind of put everything together, react to them, break them down, and we kind of have a discussion here on the channel, go ahead and let me know by liking today's video and commenting down below that you'd like to see that. I've now culminated quite a few different leaks regarding clothing and some sneakers and stuff like that. So a video like that could be very easy to do just before I head out to the Philippines. Follow me on Instagram for the latest up-to-date, updates, fit pics, all that good stuff, as I will be sharing stuff on my stories. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and react and talk about these fall winter 2023 leaks around Fear of God Essentials. For this brand new release, Jerry Lorenzo opts to go ahead and follow the very similar template that we've seen time and time again. Generally speaking, he'll release a color palette that will come in every single garment, not really deviating from said color palette. For this new release, there's 5 new colors, which do include Gold Heather, which to me kind of translates to almost a wheat colored look with a touch of heather gray to it. Next is Cloud Dancer, which to me is a very particular shade of white. Also offered is a Core Heather, which takes on a bit more of a hue of brown. Similar to the Gold Heather, it's not just a purely solid color like a light brown, but has that heathering effect to it. We've got the Classic, which is probably going to be the most popular of the bunch, and this is a jet black. As you guys know, black just goes with anything. Very wearable, an essential, a staple in anybody's wardrobe. And finally, we have Silver Cloud, which more or less is a fusion between kind of a gray and taupe, kind of meeting in the middle. All of the colors to me look so well executed. Couldn't be better time to drop this color palette than fall time, which is why I do believe we're going to be seeing this release commence very soon, as in like as soon as tomorrow. Today is October 10th. I would not be surprised if we hear stuff leaking as soon as tomorrow, which would be October 11th. But don't quote me on that. I do estimate either this week or next week we're going to see some information relating to this next release. But moving on, we do have some pictures to kind of go over, which we are going to be covering here and now. So let's go ahead and begin with the base layer, the basics, which is the new t-shirt. The new t-shirt does feature a bit less of a dramatic mock neck, which in my opinion is a welcome addition. Previously, from like Black Collection, stuff like that, I did feel like a lot of people were put off at more of the constriction of the mock neck, not necessarily not liking how it looks, but more so the comfort that came along with, especially if you don't prefer that very dramatic oversized drapey look. For me personally, I tend to do that as well, where I size down to kind of just have an oversized look, not having it just drape over the arms and so forth. In addition to that, you've got new logo placement. It is going to be centered this time around, with that logo being comprised of smaller text. You've also got a very nice and subtle touch, and if you're like myself and really love the details when it comes to this stuff, I love the addition or subtraction of the fact that it doesn't say Essentials on the back hit rubber tag. It just says Fear of God, which really lines itself up a bit more with Fear of God mainline. While I do anticipate that not being such a welcome addition for those who really love mainline, this to me makes it a lot more wearable amongst each other, because ultimately at the end of the day, Fear of God essentials can absolutely be styled properly with Fear of God mainline, but this to me just lets it work together a little bit more in synchrony, having the branding be a little bit more uniform. Now, it should come as no surprise that I do like this new version of the t-shirts. I've already mentioned I like all of the colors, which make it so these t-shirts are very wearable by themselves. I actually recently picked up an Acne Studios t-shirt that very much so is reminiscent of this style of logo and design. So needless to say, I do like these t-shirts a lot. I like the fact that they changed the mock neck slightly, just kind of tinkered it a little bit. Still looks super premium, but it's not quite looking as constrictive as the previous variants. And the fact that it is now centered, the logo is what I'm referring to, makes it so if you decide to layer, it doesn't necessarily just look like you're just wearing like a plain t-shirt. Not that is a huge deal per se, but say you want to wear a flannel, a jacket, if you will. It's kind of cool to be able to see the little logo popping out there, but that's just personal preference when I do decide to layer come this fall. Obviously, this is in contrast to the logo placement that generally we see there on the right breast, where if you have something over it, it is covered up. But next up, we have the brand new hoodies, which do see some very, very subtle changes from what we saw during Black Collection. Very subtle, but I do think it's worth mentioning. First off, we have 5 new colors, all of which we already discussed. With this hoodie, like the t-shirt, getting the centered logo treatment. The logo, again, is shrunken a little bit more comparatively to what we've seen in the past, giving it still that minimalist aesthetic, with the foundation of the hoodie seemingly keeping that same look that we saw from Black Collection. As you can see, it's got that scuba style finish at the neck, and of course is cut to fit oversized, slouchy, featuring a drop shoulder design, almost exactly like what we've seen in Black Collection. Also, just like Black Collection, is the fact that you have the rubberized logo on the top of the hood, but this time around, similarly to the t-shirt, it just reads Fear of God Welcome Edition. I think that looks very, very nice. And as previously stated, expect this piece to fit extremely oversized, very slouchy, very comfortable and cozy for the fall winter months 2023. Now, my opinions on these hoodies, very similar to what we've seen in the past. Nothing too crazy, but offered in these really great colors. Previously speaking, I feel like the hoodies were some of the hottest sellers in the past, ultimately ending up in resale shops and people just reselling them in general. I don't anticipate that this time around, and that's simply due to the fact that I don't believe the mainstream just yet really enjoys that scuba style neck collar. In addition to that, for those who really love to just kind of follow the trends, if you will, feel like it's due to oversaturation, products just sitting in stores, I don't think that people, at least from the mainstream, look at this stuff as like highly coveted anymore, if that makes sense. I think these hoodies are going to be on the bodies of those who genuinely mess with the brand, just like the OG Jerry boys like myself. Now, moving on to the new and updated sweatpants. As you probably already surmised, we're going to be seeing all 5 new colors in the sweatpants with a brand new and slightly updated fit. This new fit is going to be just like what we saw in Black Collection, which a lot of people really loved. This is going to equate to a pair of sweatpants with an elasticized waist and a very relaxed fit through the thigh area. This part's going to be very baggy, and you're also going to have a very subtle taper. And now when I say taper, that doesn't mean they narrow down a lot, because it's very subtle. The pant overall is very baggy. What this is going to result in is an elasticized cuff at the ankle, in which where the fabric, because it's so heavy, it folds over that said ankle cuffing, and you kind of just don't really notice it. They look very sick, and I don't anticipate them look anything less than phenomenal with the Fear of God Adidas sneakers once they ultimately release in December. Now, in addition to the modernized fit, something that I really love, very subtle detail. I know a lot of you guys are gonna probably comment that like, wow, like new drawstrings, but guys, these drawstrings look amazing. It's kind of like this tannish wheat cream, just a very, very beautiful, in my opinion, very, very complimentary to the brand new colors, all 5 colors for that matter. I think it's a nice touch of contrast. Of course, as we've seen in the past, you've got the Fear of God rubberized logo in the crotch area, with the size text being rubberized similarly to the hoodie and the tee. This time around, it is going to match the size of the hoodie. But yeah, this is what I'm looking most forward to for this release. If you guys know me, you guys follow me on Instagram or whatever, I tend to prefer to wear Fear of God essentials with other brands, vintage if you will, as well. And I think it just easy to wear. It's just very easy to wear stuff, and due to the fact that these sweatpants just fit so immaculate, I have history with them because I already have the core black version or the black collection version. I know it's gonna fit amazing, and these new colors are very, very complimentary. So for that reason, I'm gonna be skipping the black because I have the previous one. I'm at least gonna pick up 2, if not all 4 colors that will be offered in these new sweatpants. They just fit very, very good, and I think if you gave them a chance, you'd really like these as well. Now, those are the main 3 pieces that I did want to cover, just because generally speaking, this is what everybody kind of goes for. But do expect for truckers to release, expect coats to release, maybe a coat jacket, things we've seen in the past in these 5 new colorways. I would say, or preface this with saying, if you really like those garments, I might suggest holding off until maybe later into the winter time. Kind of counterintuitive considering the climate, but if you're in a region that allows it, kind of wait a little bit, because this stuff tends to be marked down very, very heavily on websites such as Essence, sometimes on Nordstrom, and so that's something to take into account. I've seen it marked down for up to 70% off, which is pretty bonkers, so can save some money on that front if you want the piece for having the piece over longevity of time. But yeah, that's essentially going to do it and conclude it for today's video. Just a quick discussion on these leaks, these new Jerry leaks from Instagram that I did kind of just come across. And I do believe, once again, I do believe we're going to hear an official announcement very, very soon as tomorrow. Again, today is October 10th. We might hear something tomorrow, October 11th. In my estimation, if we do hear something October 11th, the drop will be on Fear of God on Wednesday of next week, and then a worldwide drop on Friday. It's just kind of been the recipe for years and years now. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. If not, it'll be pushed back by 1 week, but kind of the same process. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for stopping by the channel. Just a quick video talking about Fear of God Essentials Fall Winter 23. You guys let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this latest release, these new 5 colorways. If you guys do want to see a part 2 of this style of video, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means a lot. We're at 101K subscribers, insanely humbled. And as always, I'm never going to take it for granted getting to make content for you. I do appreciate you all so much, and it's a true privilege to get to serve you through making content. And with that, I'll catch you in the next upload. Peace and be blessed.